Hey there. Hey, it's Kevin Van Ord. Welcome to another episode of GameSpot Gameplay. Welcome back if you've been here. Welcome for the first time if you have not. I'm already digging myself into a verbal hole, so why don't I just introduce everybody that's on the podcast today? I'm going to start with Chris Waters.
Hello, folks. I'm Chris Waters, and I'm going to dig an even bigger verbal hole than Kevin Van Ord today.
Wow, that's good.
It's going to be big.
That's more of a visual hole that you're giving us.
Are you saying I look like a visual hole?
No, I'm saying that you're giving some kind of weird side eye.
I'm going to give you the weird side eye all day.
I bet.
Comments like that.
Tom McShay, will you start talking so that Chris Waters will stop?
Sure. I have to give
you.
a shout out to our sponsors today. Water. When you're dying of thirst, drink water.
GameSpot Gameplay brought to you by
Water.
H2O. And Francis Troche. Did I get it right?
Francis Troche.
Troche. Oh
Swing
my
and a miss,
God.
Van Ord.
I've
You
been
didn't even do your homework.
I've been mispronouncing this in my head the whole time.
A lot of people
so
do.
it's less of a French thing and more of a Spanish language thing.
Yeah, it's a mix. The weirdest one, but that I liked was Troshi.
Troshi.
Like
Troshi.
Yoshi. So
Oh, it's like Yoshi. Oh, it's
yeah,
so cute.
so it was cute for a while.
So welcome.
Thank you.
So, Francis, this is your first time on GameSpot Gameplay, and also probably your last time on GameSpot Gameplay. Why? What is up with that?
Well, this is my last day in the office. I was still am kind of the community manager, or one of on the social team, and I've decided to go back home to be with my family. So.
Then where's
I miss
home?
them a lot. In New York.
New York, like city or state?
New York City.
So
From the
both.
Bronx.
I was just about to ask which bureau.
Bureau.
Wow.
Which
Bureau.
bureau?
Borough. Oh my God, I did it again. It's the Federal Bureau of New York City. Who knew? Sorry, I'm a little off today. So probably it's best that I talk less and let you guys talk more. Tom's vigorously shaking.
Well, I agree to the first point and disagree to the second point.
Okay.
So basically just less talking across the board, McShay?
Yes.
That's your solution
And
here?
more water drinking.
God, you are
more
such a
streaming.
shill for big water.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It keeps my heart ticking.
I can't believe they went to you and not me. I mean, come on. I got the name and everything.
Yeah.
Because he screamed, he's louder.
But you don't like
It's
being
true.
known as Sea-Wet, and that's what they wanted in a spokesman.
It's the worst nickname
Okay.
anyone's
Should we start
ever
this
given
thing
me.
with video
Don't
games?
say
There's
that.
also the whole thing where I could mispronounce your Twitter name and do that in a pretty bad way too. But
I can't even
Not that I
imagine
would.
what that even would be.
you're CT
Gosh.
Waters.
Oh my
on
God,
Twitter,
you don't
right?
have to spell it out.
Well, people may
CT
not
Waters,
know.
yeah,
People that are watching for the
CTWATTER.
first time or
Follow
listening,
me on
or if they
Twitter.
don't know our tweets,
Connecticut Waters.
it's CT. That's exactly right. Connecticut Waters. Let's move on. Tom.
Sure, guys.
So the
Sure.
first round always is called. Oh gosh, Carolyn's not here, so
News
she can't
Buzz?
remind it. It's current buzz.
Whatever. Not news buzz.
But since there are only three of you, you're on three teams, each person for him or herself.
Can I be Team Fortress?
Sure. Call yourselves whatever you like.
Tom is
Tom.
on Team Fortress. Tom's played 0 hours of Team Fortress 1, 2, 3, or 4.
I've played 2.
Team
You
Fortress
have?
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are.
Team Fortress 4 is pretty good.
Dude, the closed beta for that a few months ago was tough.
I know. We're not supposed to talk about that.
Oh, by the way, before we
It's packed in with Green Box
Oh my God.
and Half-Life 3.
so
Real things, all of them.
so before we go in, we are live. Unless you're listening to this and it's not about 3 p.m. Pacific time on Friday, but we're live if it is 3:06 p.m. Pacific time Friday.
my
So
God,
if you have, you know what, you love listening to me jabber. So if you have comments, questions, whatever, and you're watching on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/GameSpot. Chris, I see what you're doing over there. You're laughing at my expense. So
Your
if you're
explanation of what live means was just so on point.
I know. I've been practicing. I've been practicing my verbal communication recently. So anyway, if you are watching live, make sure to ask us questions, give us comments in the Twitch chat, And if they're inappropriate, I'll be sure to actually say them out loud.
Yes, please.
So back over to Tom. So Tom, you played this game from, not much of it, but you did play some of this game from Stoic Studios. What game am I talking about that Stoic Studios made?
Well, obviously, I know. This is a weird quiz. It was the Banner Saga.
It was the Banner Saga. And what is the Banner Saga about?
It is about Vikings who are walking through a wasteland, and then the sun is dying, and then they fight, and then there's choices about things.
Sounds pretty grim.
Yeah.
It is actually pretty grim. And then there's music by Austin Wintory, and there's art by Austin Wintory, and that's it.
That's it. That's what the Banner Saga is. So, in your opinion, in your expert opinion, you are an expert video game player. What does saga mean?
It means an epic quest and or journey.
And in what cultural context did that word come from?
Well, I know that it came from the Nordics.
The Nordics.
Beforehand, I wouldn't have known the etymology of saga, or as I say, saga. I can't really mispronounce it well.
I thought it was saga.
Saga.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that, but I guess you're talking about King, the developer who makes Candy Crunch Saga.
Candy Crunch? You're not good with titles.
You
are
McShade that one up.
What is the second word?
Classic
Crush.
McShay.
It's Crush. Candy Crush Saga. So why don't you kind of give people a rundown of what it is I'm trying to bring up?
I can tell you real top level
Okay,
stuff
be
because
vague.
I don't care about this story at all.
Enough to know the names of the
King-
games involved.
King is trying to trademark, like for video game names, the word candy and the word saga, but not Crush, Crunch, or any of the other words that are in their title. So they don't want anyone like, Banner Saga to be able to use one of those words.
But I don't think those games would get confused.
You don't
at all.
think so?
I wouldn't confuse those.
Is it?
I don't play Candy Crush, but I feel like the world does.
Isn't it like a match 3 game?
It is. It's a Bejeweled clone.
Yeah.
It's a Bejeweled
Yeah.
clone. Why is it, first of all, why is it a saga at all? And second of all, like, you can't trademark that word.
Well,
Right?
As far as I know, King's definition of saga is a game that goes on for fucking forever because
there's
you have to keep paying money if you want to get to certain levels, and so
Okay.
they make like a lot of money.
Okay. More
From
than
this game.
Stoic Studios.
So
who
more than Stoic Studios for sure.
made a traditional
But
real game.
let's a traditional real game. No offense, PopCap or anybody else that makes puzzle games or anything.
Kevin
It
doesn't speak
real
for me.
games.
Offense intended.
Offense intended from
Yes.
Tom McShay.
So is this? So I know that King said. I'm going to ask questions because I don't really know this story. I know they said you can't use this. Do they have any legal backing?
Well, here's my understanding of it, and I'm only a lawyer sometimes.
Is Friday afternoon one of those times?
No, I'm not a lawyer right now.
Okay.
So right now I can't speak with any kind of confidence on this, but my understanding of it is that Stoic wants to trademark their game name, which is the Banner Saga, and King, the makers of Candy Crush Saga, have released they do a statement of opposition. They oppose that trademark, and they're opposing in this case because they believe that the word saga, that there is a potential for people to mistake that game as one of their games as part of their branding, because they call a lot of their different games blah blah saga, and I forget what they are, but they're like Bubble Pop Saga or blah 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 saga.
The other games that are out that either have Candy or Saga in them, like they're not being those companies aren't being harassed by King's lawyers, right? Is it just the Banner Saga, or are there other games in this?
There are other games as well, is my understanding.
Previously released ones, or ones that are just filing a trademark now, like Banner Saga?
Well, I've been reading
I'm asking
stuff
you all the questions. 'Cause I don't know
here.
the story.
I've been reading stuff here and
That's costing you
there.
points, by the way. Each question is
That's
negative
fine.
1 point.
Fine.
But even now, like King is also trying to trademark the use of the word candy in this context. So,
Well, I was just wondering if, because Saga Frontier, that's a game, right? Are they going after?
Did you just make that up?
Isn't Saga Frontier a game?
I think
You
he
are-
did make it up.
Give me a name of a game with Saga, because
Saga Frontiers is one
Yeah.
of
So
them.
are they going after Saga Frontier, or is it just that's what I'm asking? Do you know the answer? To
No,
this?
I mean I think that's
No,
a pre-existing
I think
game.
what they're
not gonna be
going after, just from a thinking about a perspective, is all the clones that are undoubtedly riddling the App Store of Candy
Yeah.
Crush Saga. Because for every successful game that's on the App Store, there are dozens of cheap cash-in clones. There are Candy Crunch Saga, the one that you love to play.
That was a good one.
Yeah, or like Saga of Candy Crushing, or Crush That Candy. Like I'm sure
Saga.
that there are tons that are like actually infringing on, that are actually taking purchases away from these people. Want to purchase Candy Crush Saga, but this one's free. This one's 99 cents, and Candy Crush is $1.99. I don't know.
There's also another piece of this, which is that when you have applied for trademark, you need to assert that bit. Otherwise, eventually, it just falls into the public domain because you have not actually taken any effort to protect that. But what's interesting here is that the original paperwork that they have filed, that's called a notice of opposition, says that the Banner Saga is, quote, confusingly and deceptively similar, unquote, to Candy Crush Saga. And yet King released a statement that said that they do not have any concerns that the Banner Saga is trying to build on our brand or our content. So there's obviously
they're not concerned about it,
mixed
but they are going to
messaging.
stick them in court.
Yeah,
so weird.
that's
Well,
still really confusing. Like,
kinda
why
feels
put
like
it through that whole thing to begin with?
Yeah, it's a bully situation because I mean I don't know Stoic's finances, but they don't have.
They're probably not the makers of million plus
They-
generating Candy Crush Saga.
There's a lot more. They only make like 300 million last year, King. It's just like you can't compete with that, and it just feels like they're throwing their weight around because how could they be opposed? Because even if this is clearly there's no basis for this, like it would cost so much in lawyer fees that I don't know how you're supposed to compete if you're the little guy in this.
Yeah.
It's
Is
not
this
fair.
kind of, so let's talk about the last sort of video game naming legal battle that I can remember was that Elder Scrolls versus
Scrolls thing,
Marcus
yeah.
Pearson and Scrolls. Like, how did that ever pan out? Do we remember?
I think they settled out of court.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that involved a changing of money in some way or another.
That was.
But that was never disclosed,
Mojang's.
so.
That was that a video game? Or was that separate? I thought that was.
I think it was a game they were working on. Yeah.
Okay, it was a video game. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like so. It's like, how do you trademark Scrolls?
How do you
Like, I
trademark
understand-
Saga?
I understand like weird. Like I'm playing Danganronpa right now. Like okay, if there's another game called Danganronpa, they're clearly trying to rip off your Danganronpa because that's a made-up conjunction in Japanese. But candy. Candy?
Candy?
Seriously? Even if there are rip-offs, like it's a word that's been around since like the 1500s. Like you can't do anything with it. It's candy.
So there's even another bit here that's continuing. So the saga, as it were, is not actually over. And see what I did there? So there was another developer, the developer that made a game called Scamper Ghost. And this is Matthew Cox. And Matt Cox said that he claims, and I have no reason to disbelieve him, that he had been in talks to sell Scamper Ghost, to have King publish Scamper Ghost, and then those talks fell through for whatever reason.
Okay.
And then what happened is, according to him, King then went out and asked another developer to create a clone. And the maker of that game actually emailed Matthew Cox saying, by the way, we thought we'd let you know that our side of the story is that King came to us specifically asking us to make a clone of your game, and worse yet, tried to get that game to be released before Matt's game. So his game was called Scamper Ghost, and the game that King published is called Pack a Void. So not only did King
Pack-a-void?
copy Bejeweled for Candy Crush Saga, but they
I thought that was going to end with a better name than Pack of
they
Void.
copied Scamper Ghost and then put a name on it, Pack a Void, specifically alluding to Pac-Man, which is, I'm sure, Namco's beloved property and does not want to be used by others. So this is a very convoluted thing that clearly speaks to King's
Shadiness.
hypocrisy.
They're a bit shady.
There you go. There's the whole shadiness as I understand it right now. But
Well, there was also that shadiness with Zynga, right? Was it the Sims?
Tiny Tower, and then that other game,
Tiny
that's like
Tower
Tiny
situation.
Tower.
But there was also something that involved The Sims and like EA
Oh my god,
suing a mobile developer who is like their whole game was basically there was like screenshot after screenshot of just so almost identical stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that's like rampant in the mobile development marketplace as people try to like cash it. Well, I don't know how rampant it is. Certainly, it's surfaced a few times in the news in the past year or two, which probably means it's happening way more than that because the amount of stories that actually percolate up is always going to be less than the instance of those things happening.
There's another news story this week that was similar. Is Monolith announced Shadows of Mordor.
So don't talk about that yet.
Oh, but it's the segue.
It's a great transition.
It is a similar transition, yes, but I wanted to make sure that because we are going to get to that subject, but that is actually going to be Francis's subject when we get there. And I want to make sure that before we get there that Tom has the chance to do his quiz. But
okay.
All
but
right.
there was another example. The creator of Braid was
Jonathan Blow.
Yeah, he was talking about how Microsoft allows to have these copies go on their marketplace, and he was just really upset
The Windows Store.
Yeah, so it was just like the same screenshots, but it looked like, what was it called, Boppy Jump? It's like the jumping game, and it was just like with the Braid character.
It was like Braidley jumping.
Yeah.
And stuff, yeah.
Oh, geez.
And he was so upset because he found like 3, and it's like Braidley jumping or something. Like it was like blatantly the same thing. And
But that one's a little different. It's similar to the thing I can't talk about yet because they actually stole his assets, which is
really
like that was it was more than just a ripoff. Like they actually stole his assets.
well, again, that's the claim. So why don't we just move on to Shadow of Mordor since we're here? But I want this to be Francis focused. Because I actually wrote about Shadows of Mordor, and my very first sentence of that feature that I wrote was, what if the next Assassin's Creed were set in Middle-earth? And because the game obviously reminded me a lot of Assassin's Creed, from the structure to the combat to the way you climbed and the way you... just the locomotion, the combat... the structure,
even kind of the look of the character,
and the look of the character as he
robes,
moved about, definitely had an Assassin's Creed look. But I didn't really think that. I mean, there's a fine line, right, between doing something that's very similar to other games and obviously inspired by them, and just outright copying them, right? There's definitely a line there, and we usually more or less know when that line has or hasn't been crossed. And
this is a long question.
I would never have assumed, shut up, that Shadow of Mordor had crossed that line. But, Francis, what happened to make us doubt that maybe this is more than just a simple inspiration deal?
So, I don't know the name of the person, but someone
5
went
points
on,
for you right now, already.
I know, I suck at this and I'm social media. I read it, but someone went on Twitter and said that they had stolen it or something like that. Like, I really don't know the details, but it was just, when I read it, and I remember you came over like, this guy just said that they might have stolen the code. Like, that's crazy. Like, how can that happen, you know?
Yeah, so. Former Ubi developer, Charles Randall is his name, and he claimed that Shadow of Mordor is using code that he worked on for Assassin's Creed 2. So this isn't, and I want to clarify because our comment section on this was everywhere, of all over the place, of people not really understanding what the accusation is. It's not just, hey, this is clearly using our game as inspiration. It's using very similar mechanics.
Which is commonplace.
Which is commonplace. Yeah. But it is, hey, they're using lines of code that we wrote
for Assassin's Creed 2.
And so that's a big deal. And this isn't I don't want to say this is Ubisoft. This is not Ubisoft officially accusing Monolith or Warner of such a thing. This is an ex-developer who thinks by watching the video that the code itself was taken.
So it seems to me like this is either slander on his part, because he said they stole a code, and when questioned, he said, I know what my code looks like.
Yeah, he worked
on it. So this is
it.
either slander.
Well, he wrote it on Twitter, so I think technically it's libel.
It's either libel on his part, or if he's right, then that's actually theft on Monolith's part. So there is, like, the one wrinkle is that potentially, because he talks about animations being stolen, so I think a third-party studio that's neither Ubisoft nor Monolith like captured animations for like mocaps for Assassin's Creed 2, and if they like had the rights to those animations and then sold them legally to another company, then this would be like an okay thing. That
if this were like
what happened,
they're using the Unreal 3 engine and they licensed it and so on, and they were using
and
code
he didn't,
or
and this
whatever.
guy might not realize that this was just free code. This was middleware basically at this point. Like if he didn't realize, but I mean, neither Ubi nor Monolith nor anyone else has actually responded on this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
The likelihood of them having used Ubi's engine though is almost nil.
Well, it wouldn't be the engine. It would just be
but I'm not a developer. I wonder if anybody that is watching is a developer or writes code. Like, is it outside of graphics engine or middleware? Is it actually common for this kind of code to be shared? I don't think so. Right?
No.
I would presume that we would.
Like for someone who's worked
Heard
on
of this
it
before.
for like 2 years, they would know their work. But he also went on Twitter to say that he didn't mean that they stole it. So I think he got a lot of backlash. Like if you read his tweets, he took it back.
Like
Did he take it back? See, I thought he said that I think the game is still going to look good or still going to be fun, but I didn't realize he took back like his.
He's
they
like, I
stole
never
it
meant to
claim.
say that they like stole it.
He might have later.
Yeah.
The last thing I knew is that he was saying that he had tweeted, seriously, can someone tell me how Assassin's Creed 2 code and assets are in this Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor game? And then watch the video. That's AC2 stuff in there. Code/animation for sure.
Wow. I mean,
That is a bold claim.
That is
Yeah,
a very
it is.
bold
right? I mean,
claim.
that's
is.
just something that strikes me is to say that you can see that code surfacing just from the animation, from the environments, or from however it's looking. That you can know that it's the same code that's
Yeah.
generated that. That's, I mean, a bold claim.
It is,
It
and
is.
it's.
But-
I don't think Twitter's the best way to handle this. I would have gone to lawyers or Ubisoft heads or
Well, if
something
he's
like
not,
that.
I mean, if he's not involved with either company, then
you could still be
Yeah.
sued for libel if you make these claims, though. Like that's a real that's defamation right there. Like you can't say that if it's not true.
Well, and there have been instances of things like assets being taken from one game and used in another. I mean, there have been some pretty high-profile
Braid.
instances of of things like that, of assets, of things just being lifted outright. But that would be that would be a pretty shitty thing if that's actually what Warner or Monolith had done in this case.
I don't know if we're gonna hear anything else about this because I don't know.
It strikes me that this story is probably just going to go away without further comment from Monolith or Ubisoft, quite frankly.
Do you think Microsoft will fire this guy like they did that one dude who spoke out?
Well, this guy doesn't work for Ubi anymore.
that
I know he doesn't
that
work
was
for
like
Microsoft.
a PR like
Oh, he
What was that
focus
dude?
thing.
He
right?
works for Microsoft now?
No,
I didn't know.
no.
Oh, you're just being funny and it's going over my head. Aw, that's
What does this
cute.
guy? What does this guy do now anyway?
I don't know. I don't
Anyone
know.
know?
tweets.
Besides make
Yeah.
He tweets.
make Twitter claims that he can't really back up. I don't know.
Yeah.
This wouldn't look too good for Monolith if they stole it. That's for sure.
But it does look very similar. Like
It does look similar. I mean,
Like when I was watching it, I was just like, wow, it feels like I'm playing Assassin's Creed. Like all the just the movements, just the jumping, and it was very similar because the jumping and it's similar to what is it? Oh my god, I'm blanking.
Uncharted.
Yes, Uncharted. It's very similar, but it's different. Like you can tell it's Nathan Drake or if it's Ezio. So
See,
That's a good point because there's the one
The
section I'm thinking
hanging.
of is where he's sort of
Yeah.
going along and that hanging motion. I mean, there's not like millions of ways you can
Yeah.
animate someone like climbing along a ledge like that, but still, you watch Ezio do it and you watch Nathan Drake do it,
and
you can tell there's a difference.
It's the same movement, but it's just too similar.
And this is a lot more Ezio. Yeah.
Before release, I thought Tomb Raider, last year's Tomb Raider was like just a straight up Uncharted clone, which would have been similar. But when you play Tomb Raider, it's way different than Uncharted. Like it's only like the basic stuff is even similar to it. It takes it in a different direction. So, I mean, I'm hoping that this Mordor game is not an Assassin's Creed ripoff because I really don't care about that if it is.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it just like at a glance you're like, oh yeah, but when you actually play it, like, oh no, this actually feels a lot.
When
different.
they show off an assassination mission in a 5-minute gameplay video, it's going to look a little bit more like Assassin's Creed than something
So
not.
they might be taking that angle just to grab in people who
Yeah.
would
Which
never
is-
look
which
at a
is
game
smart
like
to
that.
do.
Yeah.
If you think of licensed game as crap, and then you're like, oh wait, it reminds me of this game that's totally, well, kind of crap.
Shut up.
Zing.
There was actually a surprising amount of Assassin's Creed hate in that video. A lot of people saying the difference is that this game that looks exactly like Assassin's Creed looks awesome, while Assassin's Creed is not awesome. So there was a lot of that in the comments. And actually, I'm going to do the quizzes a little bit out of order. So I'm going to start with this quiz.
Uh-oh.
And it's a free-for-all.
Okay.
And it is about Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, goodness.
So what I did is I went into the comment section for our news story on this subject.
Who
and
said this?
It's no, that's not quite it. And it was a lovely place to be. Yeah. Actually, it was a surprisingly respectful list of comments, with a few exceptions, of course. Of course.
That's how things always are. There's the 1% that are,
the 1%.
Maybe
it's usually
comment
the
25%
of the 1% that comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 1% of the commenters that are kind of vile, and the 99% that are nice. Like this is my experience.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't have the numbers. I'm
just guesstimating.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
Vast majority of people who comment are not jerks.
So this is a free for all, by
YouTube.
the way. Except for YouTube. Yes. So I scoured the comment section to see what people were saying, and I'm going to read a reply, but I'm going to leave out a word or a couple of words at the very in their sentence, and I want you to see if you can fill that in to see what you think this commenter's position actually is.
Okay.
So we're going to start with a very simple one from System Forever. That guy is a blank. See if you can figure out what this commenter thinks of Mr. Charles Randall.
Libeler.
Oh, wait. Tool.
Maybe.
Liar.
Goat monkey.
How many guesses do we get? All of them?
Spartan.
Spartan.
We're talking about the guy who tweeted about the code, right?
Yes. So he's specifically System Forever saying that guy is a what?
Baller.
A baller?
Adonis.
Slanderer.
Maybe somebody in the... Okay, so Twitch
D-bag.
is coming up with fisherman, troll, a champ,
Troll, that's a good guess.
Troll.
and
yeah.
a dick. Somebody says he's a human.
He's a human.
He is
Guy.
a-
He is a human.
He's a guy.
Guy.
He is a guy,
That
but
guy
that
is
is
a
not
guy.
what this commenter said. So I will reveal all now. From System Forever, he says about Charles Randall, that guy is an asshole.
Wait,
I was
we were
thinking
supposed-
that, but
Did you think it was supposed to be easy to guess? Isn't that what you told
Kevin
us?
tried to make us all say a swear.
mm-hmm.
No, I'm just
oh my god.
You didn't know swear words were included.
Look, okay,
It's
let's be
true.
clear. I don't really think anybody's going to get many of these. It's all about the idea and the shut up.
That didn't
I
respond
hate
to
all
Chris
of
at
you.
all.
Kevin, just say yes and move on.
Yes. From Monster Truck, he said, whoever said the combat is from Batman Arkham Asylum is smoking the blank.
Chronic.
Reefer.
Tom knows
Correct.
his drugs.
Heated up marijuana.
Heated up marijuana.
What?
Do
Drug
people
smokes.
do that? Is it heated first?
Well, you light it on fire.
You light it on fire, I guess. Yeah.
On fire
Isn't that what they do in
marijuana.
GTA?
Whoever
Ganja.
is smoking the what?
You're now trying to make us say synonyms for weed.
The white dragon.
Crack. Pipe.
It's not doo-doo,
The white
pipe,
dragon.
marijuana,
Doo-doo pipe?
chronic. The
Doo-doo.
weed pots. The weed pots is actually
pot.
kind of close,
Marijuana?
though. The answer
Bong.
is smoking the dope rocks.
Well, that's crack. That's
Yeah, okay,
crack.
That's fair. Yeah,
Is
all
that
right.
is that what that is?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I live in the
Francis said it was. So
Well-
I
I
believe
trust
her.
her.
I live in the
That just
big
come
drug dealing
from New
neighborhood
York.
of the city. I don't know
But-
why I don't know these things.
Those are all similar.
You need to talk to your neighbors more
Drugs.
often, Kevin.
That's true. There's the drug dealer that used to do stuff two blocks down from me.
What do you used
is
to do?
now
What stuff did he do?
He sells drugs in front of.
Have you not watched The
usually
Wire?
he's on the corner of Leavenworth.
Are you-
and,
Are you telling people where to buy drugs?
Yes, no, not anymore. I'm telling people where they could have in the past. They could have gone to Leavenworth and Eddy, but now he stands in front of my building.
Oh.
I'm thrilled by this.
Oh man.
It's actually good because it means less crime, less violent crime. in front of my building.
Also, you
'Cause
don't
the
have to
drug
walk
deal-
2 blocks away. He's
That's
right
true.
there.
Why is there less violent crime when there's a drug dealer outside your
Drug
building?
dealers don't want to have attention brought to them. They want to be able to sell.
But what if someone wants to
safely.
take his corner, like in The Wire, and then they fire shots?
Is that how it happens? Tom,
Yeah,
you're,
they take turns.
you're a big druggie. Can
I
you
s-
shed some light on
I
this?
saw the first 4 seasons of The Wire,
I've
Yeah.
only seen
and that's what happens.
two.
That's true.
Why would you ever think there's safety in drug dealers?
Maybe
To be
he
fair,
feels
in some places in that show, it is safer to be around the drug dealers
It is true.
at
it is
certain
true.
points.
Mm-hmm.
But
Then
ultimately,
then where?
Ultimately,
Not-
it's dangerous.
Not around the drug
Where does
dealers?
The Wire take place? I never watched
In,
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Oh, so it's like Homicide: Life on the Streets. Sort of. It's the same. as
Exactly.
It's a very
Baltimore.
It's just a
realistic-
homicide clone.
Yeah. I've never.
Well, see, I used to live in Baltimore too, so I knew where all
Just
the.
move. You should
but
move
I
to
never-
the Bronx then.
Oh yeah, I never knew where the
Complete the
drug dealers
trifecta.
were in Baltimore. I knew where the murderers were.
I think they're similar.
They were all
They're
in my neighborhood.
connected.
I lived in a
They're
neighborhood in
connected.
Baltimore called Brooklyn. So
Is that where the murderers live?
that was where the murderers lived.
You should have moved out of there.
They
But
lived
if
in
you
my
know
building.
them,
You
they
did.
don't
They
mess
lived in
with
my
you.
apartment. They were me. So the next one is the next statement is from Vader 501st, who said, just wait until blank gets a hold of this."
King.
Ubisoft.
The media.
The media? The media had already
Twitter.
gotten a hold of it, I guess, at
Zero
that point.
punctuation. Gamers with a Z.
Just wait till Yahtzee gets a hold of this. Man, just wait till Jim Sterling
The
gets a hold of
Trolls.
this.
The Trolls.
I think
Nah.
I read that on
Lord
Twitter.
Elrond.
No, so a few people are in the chat are like, until EA gets a hold of this. Just wait till Gabe Newell gets a hold of this.
You don't want him to get a hold of this.
Just wait till Tom McShay gets a hold of
It's a good
this.
guess. It's a good
Dun,
guess.
Yeah,
Dun.
the actual comment is just wait until Shia LaBeouf gets a hold of this.
Oh.
Because he's a rip-off artist, but it's
Yeah, I
also...
get it.
He said it was a big performance act, and why wouldn't I trust him?
Oh, and just wait until Mom gets a hold of this is another choice comment in the Twitch comments. But no, I actually had to do a like on that comment because I thought that was actually a pretty clever comment. So to Vader 501st, who until I clicked like had no likes. Good job.
Oh, Kevin. Sometimes
know.
you sound like a 60-year-old mom using Facebook. You're like, oh, I saw your post. I did a like on it. I'm going to how do I do a like? How do I give him a thumbs up?
I'm very charming.
And then you
are.
reply.
You are a delight, Kevin Van Ord.
I am the oldest person in the room, so go figure. Okay, so from Grove 67, doesn't Assassin's Creed borrow some things from blank?
Mike
The
Tyson.
Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of no, Mike Tyson?
I don't know. What it's a commenter. They could say anything.
Trying to think.
What do you mean?
Any
Batman.
ideas? Borrow from Batman? No, that's actually probably what I would have said if it would have been, but no.
Assassin's
It doesn't, though.
Creed.
Assassin's Creed predates Batman.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. It
trying to think
predates the
of-
Arkham games.
Well, yes.
What?
Batman was around way before Assassin's Creed.
Oh
time.
man, somebody actually got it in the comments. It is not Thief. It is not Religion. It is not Prince of Persia. But I want to send out my congrats to Digital Dame. Wait a minute. Cynthia is in the comments and she knew. Oh my god, the answer is history. Doesn't Assassin's Creed borrow some things
Come
from
on. That
history?
was cheating.
So yes, the answer is
questions.
history. So I didn't see that was Cynthia when I first looked.
Is that a
So
joke?
no more for
Did
you,
give that
Cynthia.
one did you give that one a like, Kevin?
No, did
do
I
a
give that
like
one a like?
on
I
it?
think I might have given that one a like too
my
because I
God.
like that one too.
Now I imagine him just going in there and like replying.
Cynthia's just scrolling
Yeah.
through all
Yeah, I know,
looking for
right?
the likes.
Cynthia,
Likes.
I'm not letting you participate anymore. And then finally, from Extreme Phobia, I honestly thought this article was going to be about the sneaking, not the combat. I think this guy is a little blank.
Terrifying.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Extreme phobia is
terrifying.
afraid of everything.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Logical.
Extremely afraid.
It's not bad.
Remarkably afraid. Any other ideas?
Sorry, can you read it again?
I
I was thinking of my hilarious joke. I wasn't paying attention.
honestly thought this article was going to be about the sneaking, not the combat. I think this guy is a little blank.
Cuckoo. Nutso.
Dull. Violent.
bit janky, a bit paranoid, a bit trolling coming across in the chat. But no, nuts. You're all kind of hanging around the right area, but not landing on the
Crazy.
right word.
Do we have to say a swear word
Listen.
again?
Well, you can say a swear word, but you don't have to say a swear word.
What is the real answer?
Fiddlesticks.
I think this guy is a little loony.
Okay.
Oh, crazy.
So yeah. So there you go. Tom, I feel bad though because I skipped past your specific quiz.
It happens.
So I want to go back to Candy Crush for a moment
Of course.
Back in time.
because I went through and looked at some names of games on the app stores. On the iOS App Store, I looked at the Android App Store, I looked at Windows Phone.
You looked at all the app stores?
I heard him doing this, and it was
I
just
did
like
this earlier,
because
yes.
he was talking. He talks out loud a lot.
Oh.
That's
and
true.
That's
I
true.
love
I think
it.
out loud a lot, yeah.
I love it because you're just
My-
saying the most random things.
My mouth is constantly spewing out whatever happens to be running through my head at that moment.
Tom,
It's,
It's
how
wonderful.
else do you ever know what's on the homepage of Yahoo?
This is true.
oh yeah, you laugh at when Gmail went down. I was fine with my Yahoo email.
Yes, you
So-
were. You lorded it over us.
We're not supposed to use our personal email at work, Kevin.
Oh, that's true. I wasn't actually doing that.
Sure.
Anyway, besides our office mail uses Gmail, so when Gmail goes down, we go down.
I know, but that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, thank you. But I'm telling that for the people listening. They may not know, and they might actually care. You care, and you care deeply, don't you?
They don't care.
Yeah, but anyway, I do have a problem saying things out loud a lot. But anyway, so what I want you to do, Tom, is I'm going to name you games, and you need to tell me if it's real on mobile, a real game on mobile devices, or if it's something I made up in my think brain.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Flappy Bird.
Real?
Yes, it is real. Fall Down.
Real?
Real. Yes, good job. It's very good. Cake Pop Maker.
Fake.
Real.
Oh.
It's real.
There's this. Oh well, I don't want to say it now because it might be a choice. But
Tom, have you ever had a cake pop?
There's
Say
a
it anyway.
slushy maker. I think there is one.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't
Does it
put.
have the slushy dog?
I think it's for 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
It's a 7-Eleven app, and you make slushies. I want to drink them. Not make them on my app.
Oh, now I don't have a slushy.
That doesn't sound so bad actually. Well, we used to get emails a lot for Soda Drinker Pro,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And then it made me think. So there's a Soda Drinker, and then there's Soda Drinker Pro. What separates the amateurs from the pros when it
I
comes
don't know if there
to
is a soda drinker.
soda drink?
I think it
soda
might just be
drinking.
soda drinker pro, straight up.
Really?
Yeah. No
Really?
one wants amateur soda drinking.
What does
No one
one?
wants to be a novice soda drinker. You can do that in real life.
How does one
You don't-
have?
Oh my God! Let's not go
a
down this
profe-
rabbit hole.
No, I want to
please.
know how does one make money if you're drinking soda for a living?
I don't know, Kevin. I really don't know.
By making a video game about it, and then people pay you for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, what are people talking about? Ouch. You all right? Jan's here, by the way, and I think he just head-butted the machines. But good
No,
job.
it was an elbow drop, Kevin. He climbed up on top of the TV. It was off the top rope.
Tom.
What?
People's elbow.
Jaws Revenge.
Fake.
Real.
You can name a game Jaws?
Apparently. I don't know. This might be an actual Jaws.
Weren't you paying attention to the news stories
Game.
earlier? It's a Wild West out there in the app stores. You can name it whatever you want.
Yeah.
It might not actually be about the shark Jaws. It just might actually be about
A
Jaws.
porpoise?
Yeah,
Are
you
you-
play as one of those chattering mandibles.
Are you saying that Steven Spielberg has a market on a common piece of human anatomy?
Yes.
Okay. Bubble Explode.
Fake.
Real.
One of these has to be fake.
No,
have-
you just went all real on
I think
it.
I have that game. It's like a bubble wrap one too.
Which
You
is
can explode
which is
Those are
good.
good.
But nothing can compare to that feeling, right?
No, of
when
course.
you actually
But
pop
the
bubbles.
sound is okay.
Yeah. All right, how about this one? Stupidness 2.
Fake.
Real.
Why is everything
Why do you
real?
keep guessing fake?
One of these has to be fake.
Stupidness 2 is a real game. Okay. Pocket Frogs.
Fake.
Real.
Stop guessing fake! They weren't real!
One of these is going to be fake, though.
Okay, how about this one? Plumber Crack.
Fake.
Real.
Oh my god.
He's just running the table on you, McShay.
And then the final one, Sky Burger,
Fake.
real. Every single one of these game names is real.
I got a lot wrong.
You got played.
Yes, you
You
did.
got played real hard.
Did you make up any?
No, they were all real name games. I did not make up a single one of those. Are you kidding? I'm creatively bankrupt.
Isn't Sky Burger from something? That sounds really familiar. Like a TV show or
Sky?
book or...
It's familiar from being in this. I was in Bioshock Infinite.
Was it?
They had a Sky Burger.
No,
No,
they
of
have-
course not.
No, they had garbage can burgers.
Man, maybe someone in the chat knows. Like, that is totally a thing from, like, Doug or something.
No, not Doug.
You know
I don't
very
think it's
well
Did they
that
go get Sky Burgers in Doug?
Booker doesn't eat burgers anyway. He only eats hot dogs.
Garbage can hot dogs.
Yeah,
Ew.
that's
Someone's
that's
going to
the
know
only
this
thing.
in chat.
And
or they're
garbage
going
can cotton candy, which when you think about it is
trying to
even
think.
grosser than a garbage can
They're
hot
gonna.
dog.
I wish I had a Google phone on me.
Because there's so much real
I
estate
have
for
one.
the cotton
Ooh,
candy
look
to
up
pick
Sky
up all the
Burger.
little junk.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see if there's a thing. So, what's the next topic we're talking about?
Chris. Hi.
Whoa,
It's
that was
your
weird.
turn to talk during the current buzz round, which, by the way, is our only rounds this week. I'm keeping it a little bit shorter because we
The
have a
first
thing
one is the
planned
app.
for.
There's an app for Sky Burger that's real.
I told you it's real. She's
Oh, you're
looking on her
lying.
phone right now.
Um,
It's 2 words, I think. I don't think it's 1 word. I think it's 2 words.
there's a Sky Burger in Burlington, Virginia.
No, I don't want a real
There's
place.
a Burlington in Virginia.
I was that specifically.
Oh wait, no,
came
wait. I'm sorry.
From the iTunes
It's VT,
page.
not Virginia. That's
Yeah,
Vermont.
Vermont.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry,
now
Sky.
we're talking.
Sorry, Vermont. We didn't
Ooh.
mean to confuse you with Virginia.
No.
Anyway,
Nothing else comes up.
Oh no.
but yeah, moving on. Chris. Oh, by the way, yeah, we are doing a little thing with Francis later because we're playing. There's some kind of tournament, right? A Street Fighter
Super
thing. we're
Street
doing.
Fighter 4. It's like my favorite game. So.
Oh yeah, we're having a bracket tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
So
which
that's
I am not
5?
participating because I don't play games like that.
I'm
You should
participating. And I
commentate.
don't really play games like that either.
I could
very
I
often.
could
You
commentate.
should commentate
I'm
and
sure
just-
that I will have a lot to add.
The
You could
punches,
just-
they are flying.
Well,
oh
that's
man.
M. Bison right
Looked
there.
like his leg was on fire.
The M
And-
stands for M.
There's so many, like, if you watch the commentators that do Marvel vs. Capcom, they just, like, say what they see and just make up things as they go. Like, even, like, they make up their own jokes as they go and they catch on. So, you know, like, specific things. I'm trying to think of one and I can't. I'm just blanking. But
Can I say things like, "Oh, well, there's the flag carrier, and he's running down the lane, and he can't be, he doesn't want to be denied." So and stuff like that. I want to do League of Legends commentary. I'd be really good at that.
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
throw out. He's kiting now, and it's like, yeah, that Kevin, he knows this game. So anyway, Chris,
Yes.
I'm in a mood.
That's
Anyway,
okay. It's a Friday kinda
I'm a
day.
little punchy today, Chris. So a developer came out. They're working on a game, and they said not only that their game would not have worked on an Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, but they are leveraging nearly every ounce of power from the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Who
Whoa.
is this?
Every
and
ounce?
what game?
They probably didn't say every ounce.
Yeah,
Kevin.
you don't measure
They
power in
probably
ounces.
said like
Nearly
every
every ounce.
They probably said like every
microbit.
liter or milliliter because the developer is Polish developer CD Projekt Red.
Yes, that's true. And they said we're leveraging nearly every micron of power
So isn't
in
that
the
like
Xbox One.
isn't that almost always true? Like I'm sure Gorilla used every bit of power they can because like the whole thing is like you have to optimize games eventually and that's why they look better, but you're still using like all the power with the game. You're not like making stuff go to waste. It's not like, oh, I'm not going to use 4 gigabytes.
So
of
you're basically
RAM.
saying that this is them coming out and saying we're trying even harder than all the other
No, I'm
developers.
saying that like
to-"
almost. I mean, Ali doesn't push the Vita, obviously, but like any game that's like AAA is going to use every ounce of it. Or else they would all run at 1080, 60 frames a second for sure, and probably even higher than that, or they wouldn't be using every ounce of power.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think that's true? So you
No.
think that there's like extra power that they're not using, and this game still isn't going 1080p, 60 frames a second?
I don't know. I mean, I really like the understanding I have about how resources and power is allocated in the running of.
I
video
know.
games on
We don't know
consoles
this
is
stuff,
very
but-
scant, and therefore,
This is clearly marketing speak.
sure. I mean, but is it? there's truth in it. Could their game not run on a 360?
No, I'm
or
saying it's
PS3 the way they
100%
designed
true.
it? Yeah,
I'm saying that almost every developer could say this, though.
probably.
Yeah, that's the point.
I think maybe they're just trying to make the comparison with a PC,
Yeah.
but it's still on the lower end.
Yeah, well, the first part is true. They couldn't run on the Xbox 360, I'm guessing. But just like every ounce, it's like, I hope so. 'Cause your game's not running at 60 frames a second. There's no way that's going to happen.
You guys watch those trailers for The Witcher 3, though?
It looks really good.
Yeah.
That game looks...
It looks so good.
See, the thing is, if that game is what it looks like it is, and if this game is what the developer says they're making, it could be the best RPG of all time.
What's the best right now?
That's a good question. What do you
some
guys
people
think
would probably
the best
put The
RPG
Witcher
is?
2, Assassins of Kings up there.
Do you think it's going to be better than Persona 4 Golden?
I think that it's a different kind of game.
Because that's my favorite RPG ever.
I think that's a different kind of game.
Do you think it'll be better than Dark Souls?
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
No,
that's
it
the
wing.
thing.
Also, I don't really consider
Well,
that
see,
an
that's
RPG.
the thing. They're different. I don't know why we even use role playing, like RPG is the term.
So
for
what
all
is the
these
direct
things. They're so different
competitor
from each other.
to Wild Hunt that it would be better than?
Well, part of it's the open world.
So it'd be better than Skyrim, but
Would be
that's
better
not
than-
that
Potentially.
Would be
Oh,
better
shut
than
up.
Infamous.
I love
Second
Skyrim.
Son.
It could, yeah, it just this is one of those things where I mean I look at it though and I think because so often with RPGs there are sacrifices made for one thing so that another thing can be better. I mean they're big games. Resources have to be chosen and how they're going to be used and so on and
as
so
opposed
forth.
to other games in which whatever.
No, you
We
know
do
what I
whatever the hell
mean
we
though.
want.
When you make a game in a huge world in which the player makes choices and there are a lot of systems at work, you know, you can't work on that game forever. I mean, if you're making an Elder Scrolls game, you have to decide what, you know, where you're going to put your focus and where other things are maybe not going to be as great.
But
Like
in The Witcher 2, like, has it had great combat and an interesting
had great
story and
combat.
it looked great? Like,
It had
where
an
do they
interesting
sacrifice?
they did not have an open world.
Well, why is that a sacrifice? That's a design
They didn't
choice.
have free. It's a design It's a design choice. Yes.
I wouldn't say it's a sacrifice at all.
Well, it's kind
That's
of
not what you're misinterpreting me though. What I'm saying is when you decide that you're going to have all these systems, sometimes sacrifices are made in terms of the quality of a given system.
I'm saying what part of Witcher 2 seems like it was sacrificed.
I'm not
So it was-
saying that did seem that way.
Okay. Because I don't think The Witcher 2 sacrificed at all. I think it's like, because Skyrim has crap combat.
They made what they wanted
and
to
that's
make.
kind of because they
but-
focused on other aspects of the game. But I don't think Witcher 2 has anything that
That's
you would
my-
say less than great.
But you're making my point, which
Okay.
is that if you're making a game with the breadth of Skyrim, sometimes RPGs aren't necessarily known for having brilliant combat when it comes to. You've said this before out loud to me, so don't you
There's
even
a lot
start.
of RPGs with great combat. Did you
Yeah,
say
but-
Dragon's Dogma, which was open world and had great
RPGs
combat?
aren't necessarily known for their brilliant combat systems. Most RPGs don't give you something like Dark Souls or Demon Souls or even Kingdoms of Amalur. So, it is
I
what
don't
it
know if
is.
that's even true. So you're talking about Elder Scrolls doesn't have great combat.
No,
But, like,
Elder Scrolls does not have
what
great
is
combat.
what is that game called?
Two Worlds.
Two Worlds has great combat.
No.
Dragon's Dogma has great combat.
No, Two Worlds does
Kingdoms
not
of
have great
Kingdoms
combat.
of Amalur has great
Two
combat.
Worlds has bad combat.
No, it's good. It's really good combat.
You are effing kidding
Well, I've
me,
only played
right?
the second one. I haven't played the first one.
You are
talking about Two
effing
Worlds
kidding
2?
me, right?
Two Worlds
No,
2.
it's totally good. What are you talking about?
Ugh.
How many of these
I don't-
games have lousy combat?
Why have you made this point so many times in the past that people don't necessarily go to RPGs for great combat? Why are you even...
What was
why
that
are
other
you-
game that I reviewed that had a V in it? Because that had really, really good combat also.
Venetica?
Yeah.
Really
Oh,
good combat?
that game did not have really good
Better
combat.
than Skyrim's combat. Yeah, it was really good combat.
Two Worlds combat is not good. Anyway, moving. You have strange ideas, Tom McShay. But anyway, moving on.
That's why we love him. Then.
Plus,
Yeah.
most
That's
JRPGs
true.
I've played have really good combat.
Yeah. So my point, you're playing the right ones at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are, I don't think people go
A
to
lot
RPGs
more
necessarily
that do not.
because they love they're going in for the
God.
combat. They're going in for
Yeah.
they're going in for the experience.
No one plays Ni no Kuni because they love the combat.
No, the combat's terrible in Ni no Kuni.
Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
I don't think it's terrible. I think it's fine.
Oh, it's boring.
I don't think it's awesome or anything, but I think it's
So
a secondary. It's secondary to things that I love. Other things that I love a lot more about that game. And by the way, I did like Two Worlds too. So I'm just saying it
Two
doesn't
Worlds
have
2,
great
or you
combat.
also liked Two Worlds?
I did not really like Two Worlds at all.
But
I
you
didn't
liked
know.
Two Worlds 2.
I liked Two Worlds too.
Yeah, that seems.
I think our original Two Worlds review highly overpraised that.
Two Worlds 2 was exhausting because it was so huge, but I don't know. I thought the moment-to-moment stuff was really good in that game.
Yeah, but anyway, where was I? I don't even remember what I was talking about at
you
this
were
stage.
asking.
But Witcher 3, all right?
Yes.
So they're saying, my point being that it could be, not only the game that does everything, but it could be the game that does all of those things really well at the same time.
Mhm.
In other words, think
Like
of
its
Skyrim,
predecessor.
but think of it actually
Like its predecessor, yeah.
right. But in
Yeah.
this case, actually thinking even bigger.
with the open world.
Right.
Yes.
And in this case, like having a lot more choices for you to make and so on and so forth. In other words, I think this is just the obvious step up.
Yeah.
But although The Witcher 2 did have some problems, the combat had
The
problems.
combat
in
was
that
so hard.
game. Yeah.
Why was that game
was
so
challenging.
hard?
And no PC gamer really wants quick time events in their boss fights. Or at any time,
Man, you're just
really.
speaking for all QuickTime,
So-
for all PC gamers.
PC gamers, if you're in the chat, tell me,
I'm a
do you
PC
think
gamer.
do you think that QuickTime events are a natural part of PC gaming?
Man, do you know what was an awesome PC game with QuickTime events?
What?
Ninja Blade.
Ninja Blade.
There you
That
go.
is that is one of those exceptions to the rule.
I know.
Oh my god, Ninja Blade. Any game that does QTEs needs to do them like that. Because Ninja Blade was awesome. Okay, moving on. What were we talking about?
Are you
I'm
gonna,
so out
are
of
you gonna
touch.
quiz
Witchy.
him? Are you gonna
The
quiz him
Witchy
on Wild
Witcher
Hunt?
3. Witcher 3. Right. So anyway, that's what they said. Anybody have anything else to add about Witcher 3 using all the...
I'm just curious what your favorite RPG is right now.
Oh, my favorite RPG is right now.
That fits into the same class as Witcher 3.
Oh, gosh.
So not Dark Souls and not
Not Dark Souls, not
Uh,
Persona,
Final Fantasy
not
X.
Final Fantasy, not... Well, Final Fantasy 6 is the best Final Fantasy, but I love 12 so much. People diss 12 a lot, but I really love 12. Oh, what is I think the best RPG?
Isn't it just gonna be Skyrim? Like what else would it be?
I don't know that it's Skyrim. I would actually say that Dragon Age Origins is up there for me. But its gameplay was quite good, and its systems were quite good, and
I
its
know, but it
characters
was
were quite
so
good.
ugly.
But it was artistically so
It was
so
so
not
ugly.
pretty.
It was like the Fallout of, I was gonna say of RPGs, but Fallout's an RPG.
I made the mistake of making the Xbox 360 version of that game the first version of that game I played. The 360 version of Dragon Age Origins is just awful.
Is Fallout New
Was
Vegas
so
in the
bad.
same subgenre as Witcher 3?
Is what?
New Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's-
that's my
it's-
favorite.
Even though the perspective is different.
I play third person.
Really?
Yeah,
Ugh.
I like third person.
Said no one but Tom McShay.
I like third person.
I like third person
I like
in
seeing my
Fallout 3 and
character.
Fallout
Like
New
Skyrim in
Vegas.
third person? You like seeing your character float leisurely over the land?
so weird.
Yes, combat was first person in Skyrim, but I played the rest in third person. I like seeing them. But yeah, New Vegas was incredible.
I don't know if I think for me, maybe, I mean, The Witcher 2 is certainly up there, right? But I think that Dragon Age Origins had something really special. I mean, but if you go back, it's hard to compete with, say, Planescape Torment as possibly still the best RPG ever made in that
Wow.
vein. And I think everybody should play Planescape Torment.
I played like a couple hours of
But
it.
that game is really awesome. And of course, Baldur's Gate 2. But Baldur's Gate 2 does not have an interesting story, really. So I think Planescape Torment is a really great one to go back to.
So we're all looking forward to Witcher 3 on the Vita.
To Witcher 3 played on the Vita via your PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
Which
Remote
actually
play.
Yes.
what actually probably
Yes.
will happen for me.
Yes. So anyway, so the other thing, Chris, I wanted to bring up with you is, speaking of RPGs, so there was a game that surprisingly received, well, maybe not so surprisingly, but there was a game that received an M rating in RPG Land.
Oh.
That
For murder,
Mayhem.
dial M for
murder,
I think-
mayhem.
I think you're stalling.
dial M for mature. So the ESRB rated an upcoming game that is an RPG, that is a fantasy RPG, and the makers, although not happy with the rating, are not changing their game.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what
they
game I'm
wanted
talking
They
about.
wanted the big T.
Yeah, they wanted that T. Yeah.
Do you know it?
Yes, the Elder Scrolls Online.
Yes.
Look at you.
Yay. You're good.
Heyo.
Heyo. Esso.
I just say Esso because I have to say it so much now.
Esso? You got to say
no.
Tesso.
Wow.
Thanks for correcting my really dumb abbreviation.
That's what I'm here for, Tom.
Thank you.
So yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
But why is this? I mean, when I say it's partially a surprise and partially not, what do you think I'm thinking regarding that?
What do you think?
Get into my brain. Explain it, Chris
it's
Waters.
not a surprise because previous Elder Scrolls games have been rated M for mature.
Yeah.
Not Oblivion at launch,
Yeah.
which
Really?
was T for God knows what reason, and then they changed it to M afterwards when they realized there's like
So much M in it.
that was embarrassing for the ESRB.
I do not remember that.
Yeah.
Why does it surprise you, Kevin? Well, all right. I mean, getting something rated T as opposed to M can be a barrier for purchase in like a retail setting when the clerks are carding people, which I don't know how frequently that happens. Although some of my friends have been carded well into their 20s.
I've been carded, but
You've been carded?
yeah.
Yeah. For what game?
What was it? I don't remember what it was, but it was back in New York, and it was like, come on, man.
Yeah. So that can be a barrier to sales,
Yeah.
and also, for diligent parents who are actually using the ESRB rating system for its intended use. So maybe they were hoping for teen just to have a more broad spread reach, because rating at M does close off a certain amount of potential audience.
Right.
I don't have anything.
Well, I think
else
the
to add.
other reason is
That's a long
it's,
answer.
I know.
That's probably wrong.
Kevin's asking me to speculate on
Speculate.
his mindset
Speculate
about
on
why
what
he thinks
I
it's not
might
surprising.
think.
It's the quiz round. You're supposed to know this stuff.
as far like the M rating for an MMO is fairly uncommon. That's why it was more about the genre not really
okay.
being known for M ratings.
What are some notable examples of M-rated MMOs?
Age of Conan is
Conan,
easily
yeah.
the
I
most
remember that
notable.
one. That was the one that was about Conan.
Was Warhammer M?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think fantasy violence typically
Goes for the
Why
T
did
spot.
Goes
so
for
why
that
did it get it?
team
Was it a
most of the
bloody
time.
game, the Conan game?
There was a lot of bare breasts
Yeah, there
in
was a
Age of
lot of nudity
Conan.
in that.
There was a lot of strong language and so on and so forth. I mean, this isn't necessarily
And, like,
surprising
straight
from
up,
an
gore.
Elder
I
Scrolls
mean, that
perspective,
game was
but
bloody.
yeah, that game was really bloody too. It's going to be interesting because typically, MMOs don't go for the obvious bloodletting, the really violent stuff. And I'm actually surprised, having played this game, that they're
The Elder
really
Scrolls?
going all out. Yeah, ESO, because they're going all out, because that game feels the opposite of visceral. So it's really interesting. It's going to feel
Skyrim's not particularly visceral.
That's
Doesn't
true,
mean it
but
doesn't
it's-
have adult themes and
That's true.
sexual situations or whatever violence,
that's true.
intense.
Were all the Fable
language.
games M?
Fable?
Yeah.
I thought Fable was T.
Yeah.
Because in Fable, there are prostitutes.
Yeah, there are
and
prostitutes, but they're
you
clothed.
hire them, and then you
Yeah, there are
have
definitely
off-screen sex with
suggestive
them.
Themes.
And in Fable 2, you can choose whether or not to wear a condom during that encounter.
Wow.
Did you?
Yes.
God, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
There's diseases.
Guess you know what I chose.
Yeah, I thought those games are T, but whatever. Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm thinking that maybe World of Tanks might have an M rating for some reason, but that's not really an MMO to me. So.
Okay. All right.
But it is, you have to be 13.
Yeah.
You have to be
So, and yeah,
be
you could
13 to
contract
sign up for
STDs. Fable
Play
is
it.
M, I'm
Play it.
told.
Yeah.
And
All
is
the
that-
Fables?
Thank you, Slutterer,
Huh.
for yeah, I'm not surprised because I just played the upcoming anniversary edition, and I was sort of surprised by, this woman's welcoming me to her prostitute house, which is what they
That's what she
call
calls it, yeah.
That's what they call it in my neighborhood too. We have the drug dealers and the prostitute houses.
Wait, so is it safer to be near a drug dealer or a prostitute house?
I'm thinking the drug dealer is safer.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not called prostitute
just
houses in
agree?
my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Why do you have an opinion on this?
Because I grew up in the Bronx.
Ah.
And that's very. I watched The Wire and
I watched The Wire, so
it wasn't as bad as Baltimore, but
Okay.
it's pretty scary.
Oh.
And I kind of lived near the Tenderloin for a little bit, but
oh yeah.
not as close as you did.
Well, he lives
Oh,
in the
yeah.
Tenderloin.
I live I have lived
You-
in like
yeah.
the worst part of the
not
Tenderloin
ankle
too.
deep in.
So,
Yeah, I was
Stop it.
above. I was
Stop
above
it.
Geary.
but we
Yeah.
call them massage parlors in the Tenderloin, and
we
when I say we, I mean the actual
City of San
businesses
Francisco.
are called massage parlors on the front. My favorite part though is how all of the windows are actually covered with like red curtains in every single case.
And bars.
Do they all buy those curtains from the same place, I wonder? Anyway, so yeah, ESRB giving that that rating there to ES. So I'm sorry I'm stalling for time because I need to bring up all the things for the audio quiz. So talk amongst yourselves while I do that.
So how about the video game?
I can't believe I forgot to bring
Plural.
these up earlier.
Scintillating question, Tom.
I'm going to talk about Ollie Ollie.
Yeah, do
Because
it.
it came out on Tuesday for
cat?
the Vita, and it's basically Cannonball except you're on a skateboard. And
Did you say Cannonbolt?
I don't. You know what I'm talking about?
Cannibalt.
Cannonball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Except you're on a skateboard because it's basically an infinite runner, but it's super amazing.
So you're just bombing around on a skateboard, and you have to do tricks to get high scores?
You do tricks. You do tricks, but it's not like you have to do a ton of tricks. It's like you jump, which is a trick, and then you can spin, which is another trick, basically. But it's like you're not stringing together tricks as much as Tony Hawk. You're just kind of like trying to grind as long as possible and land precisely, because it's really easy to not land precisely.
So
you have
you're
hit
trying
X.
to combo. You're trying to
Yes.
keep a trick combo going for as long as
Yeah,
possible.
but the toughest part is just hitting the rail, because you have to hit down when you hit on the rail, or you have to hit X when you're landing on the ground, and that's the toughest part. So it's like a super
That's interesting.
intense, like precise game, because you have to get like razor sharp precision with your button presses.
So it's not so much the athletics of like quarter circle, triangle,
Yeah.
holding R to do a indie nose bone flip-a-do.
Nope. It's not. I mean, it has that stuff where you just like rotate the left stick, but I don't really know what that stuff is doing.
I want to play Tony Hawk.
But yes, it's just like this excellent score attack game that is like, you kind of want to throw your Vita sometimes, but then you do well and you feel really good about yourself. I'd recommend it highly because it's awesome.
Ollie Ollie.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah, you have been really saying a lot of nice things about that game
I
in the
know.
office this week.
And I've
Yeah.
yet to let you play
You've
it.
yet to let me play it.
I know. You could
Keeping
purchase
it
it
all
for
for
yourself
himself.
on the
Just
PS
let me try
Store.
it out on your Vita.
I think it's notable though, because you said it's a game that makes you feel good about yourself, and I think it's notable that Tom is always enjoying things that make him feel good about himself.
Yeah.
So-
Who doesn't like things that
like
make you feel good about yourself?
Spelunky, for
Yeah.
instance.
Although that sometimes makes you feel real crap about
I know,
yourself.
but when you do well in Spelunky, you feel so good.
So let's see if you guys can be proud of yourselves with the audio quiz this week, which is a free-for-all again. So I love MMOs, and at first I thought, well, maybe I'll do MMO soundtracks.
Oh my god, that would have been so mean of you.
And then I realized that
That would've
nobody
been real
plays
bad.
MMOs but me in the office for the most part. There are exceptions.
No one
but for
is
the most
as
part.
avid an MMO player
In
and
the world.
connoisseur
In the
as
world
you,
as
Kevin
me.
Van Ord.
But so instead, I decided that I was going to make the quiz about fantasy games in D&D/Tolkien/high fantasy type universes.
Cool.
So, in other words, this is epic role-playing game music, and I want you to see if you can guess what the music is.
I have a feeling they're all going to sound the same.
Well, there is some of that going on, but I like to think I tried to avoid that as best as I could. So you'll know a couple of these at least. But let's get started and see what you think.
Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, Final
No, it's
Fantasy
not
3,
the right
Final
genre.
Fantasy 4.
It's not the right subgenre. Is it Skyrim?
No.
Is it Oblivion?
No.
Is it Morrowind?
Yes.
Yes!
Wow.
Damn it, you did the same thing
I
I was
know.
doing.
But I counted backwards.
I was just waiting to see if anything popped in my head.
Yeah. Well, this is the best version of the Elder Scrolls theme, so I will often default to this one.
It has a few moments that remind me of Uncharted.
Yes, it does. Like
I
right
just
here.
love this.
And this is Austin Wintory.
No, it's not. This is Jeremy Soule, a fine composer who nonetheless composes a lot of similar-ish music.
Like John Williams.
Yes, he's sort of the John Williams of musical game scores. So yeah, that is Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Good job. All right, let's move on to this one. Maybe a little bit harder for you guys, although it shouldn't be.
Go on.
I have to wait a. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Sounds so familiar.
I'm watching the chat to see if anybody will figure it out. They're a little bit behind us, but nobody has actually gotten it yet.
Can we get a guess?
Go,
Anybody?
Chris, get it.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, you guys want me to answer? Yeah, that's no problem. It's Two Worlds 2.
No.
Dragon's Dogma.
No.
I don't know what it is, Kevin.
No. Anybody in the chat want to give it a try?
Baldur's
Couple
Gate.
people trying to go with World of Warcraft, Path of Exile. It's not any of those things. It's nothing Star Wars. These are all epic, high fantasy type games for the most part. They're in that.
For the most part.
Warhammer.
You could
Something.
You might argue with a couple of the choices, maybe, but no.
MR.
Somebody did get it. The answer is Baldur's Gate.
Chris got it.
He
He said
did.
it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Chris is good. This is Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Baldur's
is
Gate
good.
1.
Definitely knew that.
That is Baldur's Gate 1. There
See,
for
this is
sure.
the thing to learn about tests is you don't necessarily have to know the answer. You just have to know how to get the answer or guess it within the rules of the test.
All right, let's give this one a try. Do I think anybody's going to get it? No. But at least it doesn't sound like the other things in terms of sound quality. Everybody looks so thoughtful.
Because they all sound like. I feel like I've heard this in a movie. I'm more of a movie person.
What?
I don't really play RPGs.
Nobody in the chat's getting it either. People are saying Ultima. It's not Ultima.
Oh, I was going to guess Ultima.
No, it's not Ultima.
I can't tell if it sounds familiar because I know it or if it sounds familiar just because the like general sweeping heroic like strains are very evoke that kind
It's
of
not
like,
Ultima Online. People, it's not Ultima Online, but they're in the right. They got the right idea, but nobody actually has it. I'm really surprised. So this is the original EverQuest.
Wow.
Yes. So I know
It
somebody
was the second thing that I said.
It was not. Nobody said EverQuest.
No. From when I was saying it's either something I know or it just sounds familiar because it's
just typical
universal
fantasy
and
music.
Yes.
So yeah, that is. No, it was not Skyburger. I'm afraid. So yeah,
would work for Skyburger.
All right, let's give this one a try.
Is that Ultima?
No.
Is it Candy Crunch Saga?
No, it's Bubble Wrap Saga. No, it's not that either.
Is it Planescape?
No.
I don't know.
Thief? No. That would not be I wouldn't call Thief in a high fantasy world.
Well, you said that we would take issue with the killer.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Is this Mario?
Several people have it. Quite a few people have it in the chat.
Is it Dragon Age?
No. It is, however, a game that came up in today's podcast in a different.
Is it two worlds?
The
No.
Banner Saga?
Is it the Banner Saga?
No. Somebody's like, Kevin, make these easier. No.
These are hard.
It's not necessarily even about the quiz. It's about celebrating great game music. So
None of these have been about the quiz.
yeah, that's right. I only ask you the question as a formality. The answer to this is the original Fable.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't recognize it at all.
So a lot
I
of people
played
in
that
the
game.
I
chat,
did play that game.
a lot of people in the chat got that one, and I thought that might be a little relevant with the advent of the anniversary edition. Just
Did
around
you know the
corner.
anniversary edition isn't on the Xbox One?
Yes,
I'm shocked.
I did know that. This is a 360.
Yeah, it doesn't look. It doesn't look very
game.
good.
No, it's fine. Are you
It
kidding?
does
I
not.
played both. I played both the Xbox original and the anniversary edition next to each other.
Well, I'm
over
not
the
saying it doesn't
weekend.
look better than the original version. I'm just saying it doesn't look good.
I think it looks good.
It doesn't. Look
I don't
as-
think it looks awesome. It doesn't look as good as Fable 2. Or,
No, it doesn't look as good as Fable 2, which came out in 2008.
but they did a
Fable
lot
2
of
was so
remastering.
good.
It wasn't just like slap on a new high resolution
It
textures.
doesn't look as good as a 6-year-old game. How much remastery did they do?
Quite a bit. If
Do you
you put
remember
them side
when-
by side, you'd really be shocked.
Do you remember when Shadow of the Colossus came out and it looked phenomenal on the PS3? Because that was the thing that happened. Like, it's possible to make an HD update look as good
Shadow
as a
of the
modern
Colossus
game.
and Fable are wildly different aesthetically. I
I'm
mean,
just-
Shadow of the
I
Colossus
know.
is a very bare aesthetic, so to improve that, probably a very different task than improving that of Fable, which is just this rich, very varied world.
I know. I just saw this and I was like, well, this looks like a super old, kind of ugly game. I don't know. Because
Jeez.
Fable 2 and 3 and Horse Adventure all look really good.
I like
And they have great art direction and stuff. And
Such good art
this is
direction.
like muddy N64 textures.
Fable 2 was one of the first games I played on
No.
like my new HD TV, and it was just glorious.
Yeah. No, yeah. I was really
So good.
disappointed because this looks like a super old game.
Oh, Tom.
Well, you said it doesn't look as good as Fable 2, which is 6 years old. 5.5 years old.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So it doesn't look
That's
as good
true.
as a super old game.
But I think that a lot of that has to do with I like the aesthetic of Fable 2 more than I like the aesthetic of Fable 1.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I was
but,
disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, whatever. What was somebody said something there in the comments, and I was going to mention something, and now it just passed me right on by.
Just like life, Kevin.
Just like life. So anyway, let's give this one a try.
Kingdoms of Amalur.
Nope.
It sounds more Final Fantasy
Yeah,
than,
it does.
No,
It
totally.
does have a sort of Western sound to it.
But this is not a Final Fantasy game. This is not in the genre of JRPG. If
It sounds like
two people got it in the comment section
I
already,
actually think I know this.
what the hell just
Do
happened?
I know this, Kevin?
What
you've
just
played
happened?
this game. You've played some of this game, I think.
I'm pretty sure I have. It sounds really familiar. This sounds like a Rush. Is this Geddy Lee?
But this is a game in a high fantasy world that would be, somewhere in the D&D Tolkien type realm.
What is it?
This is Dragon's Dogma.
I did play a lot of Dragon's Dogma. That game's really good.
Yeah.
Except for the pawns being complete idiots.
The pawns are idiots. Yes,
Yep.
that's true. Who is this band? Is somebody in the chat can say who this band is? That would be interesting. It's not Rush,
I'm pretty sure it's Rush.
but
Pretty sure.
I mean, you knew that it was a Japanese-made game almost as soon as it began, right?
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
piano and all that stuff. So
Man, this game is so good. Remember when we were excited that Down Deep was going to be like a new Dragon's Dogma, and it turns out it's not, and it's going to be dumb?
is it going to be dumb? What makes you think it's going to be dumb?
It's like a free-to-play
Oh, is it?
cave dweller.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
I don't want either of those things. We'll wait for the real
You
Dragon's
want
Dogma.
to pay for
sequel.
all your games.
Well, kinda.
All right, I'll give you 10 points. If anybody that gets this gets 10 points, all right? Including in the chat. By the way, the band I'm told for Dragon's Dogma is B'(Z). Bees?
No, I think it's B'(Z). That's how you pronounce it.
BZ?
So is this probably like a Super Nintendo game or like a PC 90.
It is a game that appeared on several platforms, and I believe Super Nintendo was one of them.
I feel like
Lost Vikings.
Shining Force.
No, those are good guesses. Oh, several people know this one in the chat. Quite a few people. Lots and lots of people.
God,
wow.
I feel bad
You
now.
are all terrible human beings.
Is it Yo
Just 'cause
Noid?
they are all super smart and good looking and now the proud owners of 10 points. That's that was 20 that I did.
Yeah,
on
you did.
camera, so I don't want to be misleading.
So the band is pronounced bees. You're supposed to pronounce it bees.
Beads?
Bees.
Beads?
Shush.
I got
You're
Chris
just
to laugh.
not good with titles.
That was good.
All right, anybody got an idea? Otherwise, I'm gonna have to give it to all sorts of people there in the chat.
Yeah, was it Beads?
It was not beads, but some Sketches knew it. Dark Venom knew it. Scrollback knew it.
know
Atheist
Scrollback.
Preacher knew it. Sunbeam 4 knew it.
Oh, Sunbeam
But
4
you
knew it.
guys
I
don't
didn't.
know it.
What is it?
Nothing personal.
Golden
Sunbeam 4.
Axe.
Gold Max?
Golden Axe! Oh, for God's sake. I'm not letting you play this game
I
anymore.
thought you said
There's
Gold-
one more, by the way. Keep your headphones on.
Sorry, you thought you
more.
were saving the
The
big
10
money
point?
for the end.
this one 50 points.
Do you remember when Chris reviewed Golden Axe? Like,
Yeah,
remember
but that was the new
Golden Axe
Axe.
Beast Rider.
Beast Rider.
That game was not very good.
No.
All right. One last one. This is also
Really
I'll
gory.
I'll
though.
give you 10 points for this one too, just because I'm a good guy.
I want to go
that
read
way.
that review now.
The Golden Axe review?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to go back and read our old stuff and think, "Wow, I did pretty good on this," or
That
"Wow,
that
I'm
review-
so glad I don't write like this anymore."
That review was better before QA changed a lot of your nice wordplay. I still remember that.
What was the wordplay? Now
I don't remember
I
what it was. I just remember there was some QA that I disagreed with because it made the review less fun.
Yeah.
Unless you didn't actually take the QA advice.
As
We'll
well, he
have to
shouldn't have
delve
much
in-
of the time.
We'll have to delve into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go back into our emails, which Tom does frequently.
Which is
Yep.
fun.
As far as I
Actually.
can tell, to this review was different before we sent it through the QA process. All right.
Get your oboe here.
It's Harry Potter, clearly.
Seriously.
I feel like it's very Warner Brothers.
Is it Harry Potter?
No. Somebody has it in chat.
Batman.
Batman Potter. Because Batman and Harry Potter are both orphans.
True.
Think about that.
Lots of people getting this one.
I don't know what it is.
Disappointed with you.
I am disappointed in me too. This one sounds super familiar.
Some Sketchist has this one again. Dark Venom has it again.
Gosh.
Trends Nation.
Is it a Lord of the Rings game?
No. You want to know the answer?
Yes.
The answer is a game for which the studio that made it is now no more.
Kingdoms of Amalur.
It is Kingdoms of Amalur.
Yeah.
The Reckoning, as it were.
I guess that game a lot during this quiz.
Except when it was appropriate
I know.
to. Yes. So that is Kingdoms of Amalur. Actually, a very fine fantasy game soundtrack.
I
that
liked
whole
that
game was
game.
a quite fine fantasy role-playing game.
Totally fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's one of the best games to come out of Rhode Island.
That's true.
Or Rhode Island.
That's true.
Wow.
It's one of the best things to come out of Rhode Island next to, I don't know.
Name something else that comes from Rhode
Doors. They make Wilmington doors
Dumb
in
and Dumber
Wilmington.
took place in Rhode Island for the
Okay, well,
beginning.
Wilmington is in Delaware.
Damn it! What are they doing in Rhode Island?
The capital of Rhode Island is
Providence.
uh-huh.
James Woods
I don't know
comes from Rhode Island.
I don't know anything about Rhode Island.
The mayor of Providence was arrested for being tied with the mafia.
Do you know the name of Rhode Island? Because it has like a really dumb long name, like the Commonwealth, or I don't know what it is. It's got a long name if anyone knows it.
Good story.
I don't know. It was a quiz for someone from the East, and you were supposed to know the
I
answer.
stopped listening to what you were saying. What were you saying?
What's the name
I
of
just
Rhode
like to
Island?
call it Rogues Island.
What's the name of Rhode
It's
Island?
a really long name. It's like a lot of words.
It's not just the Commonwealth.
It's not a
of Rhode
Commonwealth, is it?
I think that's Massachusetts.
I
It's called
well,
that.
I
It
think
is
Pennsylvania,
yes, that's
Kentucky, and
true.
Massachusetts are Commonwealths.
Yeah, but Rhode Island's got a dumber name.
Maybe that's why Dumb and Dumber.
I only know
took place
Pennsylvania
there.
because I was born. I
It's
lived
like
there. I was
Prince
born
Rhode
there.
Island and his
There you
magic cities.
Cool.
Something dumb like that.
Nailed it.
All right. Well, I do have to name a winner of the podcast this week. Oh, I'm going to give the headphones back to Jan
Is
first.
the winner going to be everyone in the chat who guessed that
Yeah, I
one? that you were
know.
The
giving away
winner
10
is
points
Sunbeam 4.
Yeah.
Good
Sounds
job,
good. Sounds
Sunbeam 4. You are the winner of this week's GameSpot gameplay, and your prize for winning is to hand over your prize to Francis Throche. Thank you very much, whose name I mispronounced.
You made
It's
it better
okay.
this time though because you
Throche.
almost pronounced it correctly and you rolled your eyes at the same time.
I was rolling my eyes at me, not at the name. I'm not rolling my eyes at.
I didn't
Oh,
think
hi,
so.
Francie. That's I've never heard Francis's last name pronounced out loud.
Yeah, a lot of people always pronounce it wrong.
I don't know why I thought it was Troche,
Well, that's how
which is pretty gauche
people
now that I
say
think
it,
about
but
it.
in Spanish, it's troche.
Good work.
So I
Kevin.
just usually say it like that. Troche. Just feels weird.
Just feels
Troche.
weird. I like Troche.
No, well, saying troche or
Troche,
troche.
Trebuchet.
Trebuchet.
Yeah.
Crochet.
But anyway, Francis, you are the winner this week on GameSpot Gameplay, so
Yay.
congratulations on
Yeah.
that.
Yay.
Your
I
prize
guess.
for winning is to tell us what your favorite part of working at GameSpot has been. But before you do that,
Okay.
I want to say thank you to everybody that joined us today and give you a few reminders. So first of all, thank you to everybody in this room. First of all, thank you to Jan Air, who is right next to me
Woo!
and has made this possible.
Thank you, Jane Eyre.
Yay.
Thanks to Chris Waters
Oh, Kevin, when am I going to stop doing this?
for being here.
I got to stop doing that.
I don't know. That's a kind of a douchey thing.
It is.
really.
It's not cool.
Thank you to Tom McShay.
Some more product placement.
Yeah.
For water.
Yay,
Life-sustaining
water.
water.
That
This
water's
week's
good.
GameSpot
Flavored
gameplay brought
and
to you by
carbonated.
I don't
water.
want anyone to see the actual brand name because they're not paying us for that.
And
Come on.
of course,
I can't believe you're drinking bottled water anyways. Shame on you.
I know. Screw the environment.
and of course, thank you to Francis Trebuchet for being here this week.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And let me say thank you to everybody out there, and also to let you know how you can subscribe, what to do, all that kind of stuff. So obviously, typically we're going to be here on Fridays at 3 p.m. live. But beyond that, we are a podcast. You should listen to our audio. And you can do that on iTunes. Just do a search for GameSpot Gameplay, subscribe there. Do it through your RSS feed. You can do a search for GameSpot Gameplay in your podcast player. Shush you.
If you listen to just the audio only, it actually includes like dozens of those terrible sound effects. We go back and edit those in.
Literally dozens.
And yeah, so but also we then go up on YouTube. But it's easiest to catch us
We're
if you
on
just subscribe
YouTube?
to us. Yeah, we're on
Oh,
YouTube now.
God.
Yeah, who knew?
YouTube
Read
is-
the comments.
It's 2014, Tom.
I know.
Get
Everything's
with the
on
program.
YouTube.
YouTube is just the worst. Did you hear Terry Kavanaugh, like his content was taken down for VVVVV because of a copyright claim? He made
Against his own.
VVVVV. Like this is YouTube is just a junk factory.
The copyright
Someone
claims.
needs to rise up and crush YouTube because they are jerking creators around something fierce.
But if you were a YouTube
Tom, that's your solution
commenter,
to everything.
And-
Rise up,
And crush. Yeah.
rise up and crush Candy Crush them.
It's not like, you know what, YouTube could really sort out a sensible policy here. No, they must rise up and crush them.
Google's been going down the evil rabbit hole for like 3 or 4 years
But
now.
they
They're not
say
gonna.
don't be evil. How could they be?
They said that, and then they bought military robots. They're clearly.
hand out ice cream sandwiches.
Oh my
Tom.
God! No.
But anyway, if you are a YouTube commenter and you don't like what Tom said, he's available. He's Tom McShay. Don't send your hate mail to me because.
But we'll know what you said because of the Google Plus need
that's true.
integration that everybody loves.
So if you want to live up to Tom's expectation of YouTube commenters, send that directly to Tom. But on Twitter, you are at Tom McShay. That's very easy. Chris, you are at CT Waters with 2 T's.
Indeed.
WATTERS.
Good
Actually, 3 T's.
Well, to be precise, yes, but
True.
2 T and Waters.
Now who's good at spelling names?
Francis is oh hi Francie. You should spell that though because
Yeah, because I I always say, oh, hi. but OHAI. Wait.
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
Francie, Francy.
Yes, so OHAI
I forgot how to spell it.
Favorite Twitter handle, because
Oh,
every
hi.
time it pops up, it's like, oh, hi, Francie.
It's adorable. It's like,
chiming
oh,
in.
hi, Francie.
Oh, hi.
One of my best friends, that's how he says hi to me every day. Like, oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi, Francie.
Oh, hi,
Yay.
Francie.
Yeah.
And I am on Twitter as Fiddle Cub, not to be confused with Fiddle Club, which happens every so often. So it's fiddle like a violin and CUB like
How
a
do you
bear.
know that
so-
happens?
Do you
Because-
follow Fiddle Club?
No, but people will
You
say
play the
people
fiddle,
will
right?
say yeah, but people will say to me like, "Oh, I thought it was Fiddle Club for years."
You should just.
So-
Who's
is that
Fiddle
an actual-
Club?
Is that an actual
I don't
Twitter?
know.
You should just get it. You should just squat on it.
I don't
and
know,
be
but I
like,
found another Kevin Van Ord on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, somebody who's from my hometown
Another
area.
Christopher Waters
and
just contacted me on LinkedIn.
Ugh.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Apparently, he lives in San Francisco.
Ugh.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
polite.
thanks to everybody out there. Definitely follow us on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to this show, GameSpot Gameplay, on your favorite podcast player. And now, to take us away, Oh Hi Francie will tell us what she's liked most about working at GameSpot.
Meeting all you guys.
Aw.
Yeah. You guys were extremely nice. My first day was kind of sad. It was July 8th.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a tough day. That was the
um,
day we got the news that Ryan Davis had died.
Yeah, that was my first day, and they were where you sit now, Kevin, and everyone was crying when I got back from orientation. And Cynthia was just like, "Don't worry."
Yeah.
Like, everyone will say hi to you next week, and then next week was Comic-Con. So
So everyone left.
yeah, but you and Peter, Chris and Peter were the first people to talk to me, other than Cynthia. But you guys were wonderful, and I'm really sad that I'm leaving. I love hearing you guys talk about video games and just express what you love, and so passionate. Like, Tom, you're so passionate about video games. I love it. So I'm gonna miss that. Like, you guys all that'll make me cry.
Yeah, we'll miss having
Don't
you here.
cry.
And fortunately,
Yeah.
we do this on the internet, so you can always
I know.
get
Yeah.
your fix
I know.
when you're in the Bronx, hanging out near the prostitute houses and the what? I don't know.
Stop it.
Okay.
But thank you very much for being here this week. It was really great having you here. And now I feel bad. I will say that I do sometimes a pretty bad job of reaching my tendrils further out into the GameSpot offices to get people on this show and into the office in general, because it tends to be very insular. Like, I tend to only get people from editorial and a couple people here and there otherwise. So I've done a bad job of getting people from community on, getting different video producers, just getting people from about the GS offices and even from Giant Bomb. So my New Year's resolution for GameSpot Gameplay is to get a more diverse group of people on this show. And hopefully next week, I have some people at IGN that I'm going to reach out to join us, hopefully, that haven't been here before. And hopefully we'll be back to old ways, good ways when it comes to having more guests on GameSpot Gameplay. And it'll be fun because they can video Skype now.
Ooh.
So that'll be fun.
The future.
I'm sure when I force a
Hooray!
drunk David Gallant to come back on, that he will enjoy being there in video as well as audio. So thank you to everybody for listening and for watching, and we will see you next week on GameSpot Gameplay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.